Grace. In this video, I'm going to talk more about persecutory. I knew I was going to do that. Delusions. Yeah, when somebody, and this is when I want to talk about when you do have to come up with something that's going on and look at it in a negative light, but not because you're kind of paranoid or anything like that, but because of the situation. And this is on my mind today because of something that just happened to me on my way to this place. And it was basically somebody, the road is on the road, tailgating me, basically, but in a strange, odd way. It was a BMW, a black BMW. And it was a road that winds around, and the speed limit's 35, and it's only has 2 lanes, one going each direction, no shoulder, no medium, so there's nowhere to get off of the road, and it has a curb. If I would have even tried that, I would have messed up my SUV. But they were just like trying to push me off the road, kind of, like they wanted to be in a hurry, and they weren't going to try to even go around. You're not supposed to. It's illegal to do it anyway. But you see what I'm saying. Try to get me to speed up to do, you mind them. And of course my mind has to come up with what are they doing. Then this guy, it was a guy, it was a man, he had a tux on at least, and because when he did get, the road got 2 lanes, he got next to me, I could see him. And anyway, of course my mind has to come up with what is he doing and his behaviors after that also. Once he got on next to me, and the way he was acting, pulling off, because I showed him I had a camera on him, but just the weird behaviors of him. You have to kind of make a story in your mind of what's going on, what are the possibilities of what this person is doing. You see what I'm saying? It's not like you're wanting to be paranoid, but the situation is weird, and you do need to, for survival, survival reasons, you have to think of what possibly could happen. Now, some people will say this is still the same. Some people will say you shouldn't do it. Some people will say you should, yeah. And it really depends a lot on who's saying it. Yeah, on their view. But me personally, I think for survival mode, like for me, because of where I live, I don't live in a bad neighborhood or something that someone would call a bad neighborhood or bad area. But I do live in what I call Narcissismville. And I call it that because I did not give it a reputation. That's just my name for it. But the reputation is that the people in this area tend to have a high sense of entitlement, narcissistic behavior. I did not give it that reputation. When I first heard of this suburb of Dallas, probably, maybe the first time was around 30 years ago, that's what I heard about it. Okay, so it wasn't me giving it that reputation. And of course, it's not everybody, who lives here. I live here. So, yeah, but you see what I'm saying. And when people have that, some of them can be, anybody can be dangerous, but some of them can be, it's my way or the highway, and you get off my road and all that, and they can be dangerous. And that's one of the situations I was just in. I didn't know if this man was going to be dangerous. The way he was driving. Plus, I'm in an SUV, a big SUV. I'm sorry, I got a little nervous laughter going on here. And he was in a small, sporty BMW. Okay, what kind of mentality does he have that he thinks his little bitty BMW is going to push this big, SUV? I mean, the whole scene was weird. But anyway, so I had to think what could possibly happen. That I do think that's different when you're in survival mode. Now, I look at things, my degrees are in psychology and sociology, but I do tend to look at things as in this, sociology. I don't tend to whip out my DSM and diagnose somebody with the, behavioral disorder, a psychological disorder, or personality disorder in this case. So, oh my goodness. But yeah, I do see what's going on in my society, what's going on in my world, I tend to focus more on that. And I don't like to generalize, and I know that saying that somebody, just because somebody's driving a BMW, they have a high sense of entitlement, would be wrong to say that. That stereotyping somebody. It's stereotyping people who buy BMWs. Yeah, or stereotyping wealthy, although I did teach. Yeah, let's get into that one. And I taught at college and university. I taught, for this video, I'll talk about this. I taught in one of my classes. This was basically about social problems in America. Okay, and I was teaching a lot of people who were criminal justice majors. Everybody, different fields, but a lot of them were going into criminal justice. Like police officers and such. And I had to teach them a lot about what not to do. How not to profile and people and so on and so forth. And so that's one of the, that's just not just one of the reasons. It is one of the reasons of many why I don't tend to do that. But one of the things I did teach, and it was to let them know that don't do this, is that just because someone, like in that kind of situation, this person drives a more expensive car, automobile than I did, that therefore that person should have some kind of privilege. And part of what I taught, what was in the textbook actually, and what we taught, and what I've learned over years, and what I've learned through all my education, is that yes, the laws tend to help the wealthy. The wealthier the people are, they tend to be, more to help them than to help others. Okay, beyond them. Don't we all know this already? So yeah, I have seen it myself where there's situations, I'm not always in this kind of situation, but where it is about the wealthy person. They have more wealth, they have more this, we're going to judge it right then and there, when no, you're not the judge and jury. Okay, we do, police officers have to do this too. They have to wonder, what is this person doing, why is this person doing that? But to go as far as to judge who is right, who's wrong, in that kind of situation, no, that's up to a judge, an actual judge. That's my view. But yeah, they do have to, like I just said, they have to judge a situation in a way, but not to say, okay, the person who's wealthy is the one who's going to be right. You get what I'm saying, right? Anyway, let's get back to my situation. Okay, the situation was weird. The guy tailgating me so in such a weird way, and all that. And the guy saw that I had, my camera, my cell phone, using his camera, and he tried not to let me see his license plate number. That's the way I saw it. And he even veered off the road. He may have been thinking that I was, because I'm videoing him. Like he didn't do anything wrong by tailgating me and acting like crazy. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, and of course, I think when it goes too far is after that, I start thinking, well, maybe he's calling the police on me. Now that I think would be something that might be taking it too far. Sure, in that kind of situation where you're already kind of on alert, your body is, when somebody's scaring you, some situation is scary. So, but then to take a moment or two to calm down, count to 10 gazillion if you have to, to calm down, to not go into that, the next thing that's going to happen is I'm going to get in trouble for it. I'm going to be the one that has to pay for it. It's to not go into that. We all know that, it can happen, but to not go there. You see? That would be unless given good reason to go there. Like the guy that was in the BMW, he saw that I had a camera on him. He could think, oh, what's she doing? She's going to put me on YouTube. Maybe so. Or she's going to call the police on me and she has my license plate. That would, I wouldn't see that as him having paranoia, because it's a possibility because he saw my camera. But I did not see him have a camera. So to, or see my license, or take a picture of my license plate or anything like that. So you get what I'm saying, Don't you? Okay, now read this disclaimer below this video on YouTube. And if you want to, if you have a comment or something, go ahead and leave it below. And if you want To subscribe to this channel, click the circle. If you want to watch another video on this channel, click one of the rectangles. Like, subscribe, comment, and share on your own social media if you would. I'll talk to you on another video. Bye.